Greetings once again, Shinobi. Duuz-Diz-Din back again with Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, where previously, Boruto, after saving Himawari, arrived at Sarada's side in order to help her weather the attack by Hidari, who wishes to absorb Sarada, while Boruto is able to keep him at bay. With so many claw marks abound, he can attack from any direction. Even more incensed after having to heal a wound from Boruto's attack, showing that they're able to heal from the roots of the divine tree. Knowing that his best way of stopping them is the Uzuhiko, Boruto prepares while Sarada uses her abilities in order to keep Hidari at bay, with even Konohamaru coming in and helping out a little bit. Boruto also takes the time to explain to the others how the likes of Hidari came into being after Sasuke was absorbed by one of the Claw Grim, imprisoning him in one of the trees, much like Moegi. With this knowledge, Konohamaru doubled down on helping Boruto despite his misgiving. Hidari also brings several Clawgrim into the fray in order to fight off the others, and to create a bit of a misdirection. When Hidari tries to make another attempt at Sarada, Boruto manages to hit him with the Uzuhiko, but unfortunately it wasn't enough power in order to completely obliterate him. Enter Kawaki, who manages to deal the final blow, leaving behind a strange hand-sized seed of sort. This is explained by Boruto to be known as the Thorn Seed Bulb, which he says will help to save Sasuke. Unfortunately, before Boruto can do anything with it, he's sniped by Jura, who uses a compressed tail beast balm as a bullet. Jura manages to grab Hidari's bulb, and decides that Boruto Uzumaki is too much of a threat and needs to be eliminated, and instead they'll use Kawaki as the sacrifice, since he also has the Otsutsuki DNA that they need. Before, the divine trees had been more curious than anything else, but now that they're out for blood, will our heroes survive? And with everything that Boruto has done to help, will it be enough to get his former allies back on his side? Join me as I find out, won't you? Alright, Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, Chapter 13, Tree Science. I will admit, this drip for Boruto? Aces. Anna, there's just something about a cloak. We see Jura still hovering in the area he was before, using his special eyes in order to view the downed Boruto, who is being tended to by Sumire as he charges another miniature-tailed beast ball to fire up using his eyes. He says, "You're an intriguing lad. I regret doing this, but farewell, Otsutsuki Boruto." Yep, see, their want for information is overridden by their want for survival. It's just like, he poses the most danger, gotta take him out. I gotta admit, Jura kind of makes me think of a JoJo's villain, if I'm being honest. It's just the style he has. It feels like something I'd see in a JoJo's. Oh god, I should have known they can still do that, but it took me off guard as Mamushi, the replica of Bug, just pops out of Jura's cloak, causing him to stop charging up his blast. Mamushi says, "Whoops, am I interrupting?" Jura says, "Mamushi, what is it?" Mamushi says, "Matsuri is back. Based on her investigation, it seems like that Boruto has an accomplice." Jura glares back at Boruto, but then says, "I see. So that's his source of intel on the Thorn, Soul Bulb, and such." Mamushi is taken off guard by this, and then looks at the Thorn, Soul Bulb in Jura's hand, saying, "Hey, that Thorn Soul Bulb you're holding, did Hidari get himself killed?" Jura says, "Our foe is formidable. Let's retreat. We can't let Hidari's bulb rot." Oh, they can rot? How much time does it take? Is there a certain amount of time you need in order to be able to revive them? Or, He continues glaring at the downed Boruto, saying, "Boruto Otsutsuki, you are a truly lucky man. It's as if the heavens are decreeing that you remain alive. Perhaps this is some divine intervention? No, it's called main character advantage. It doesn't mean that Boruto hasn't gotten pretty jacked up and come close to dying, but we didn't zoom in on Boruto, who weird. He kind of looks dead with the way that we're looking at his face, his half-closed eye with the blood coming out of his mouth. It looked like he died. It took me a second to realize what I was looking at because it doesn't have the black borders or anything that would usually indicate it, but this is a flashback. I'm like, what am I looking at? Who is this? And then I see the lines on the cheek. I'm like, wait, Boruto. And looking at what's on this page, I'm realizing, okay, this is how he ended up meeting up with Kashin Koji. But why does Kashin Koji have this much information? Because even having years to study them, this stuff on the divine tree beings is kind of weird. But we cut to a flashback of when Boruto was still running from the Leaf Village shinobi. As he peers through some rocks, they call out, he's gotta still be nearby. Find him. Boruto shouts to himself, damn it, as he breathes heavily. Suddenly, a figure appears behind him saying, I finally found you, Boruto. Boruto turns, only to find a toad. He questions this, but the toad says, there's roughly 20 shinobi in the area. You're trapped, Boruto, and yet you can't really kill innocent folk. See, again, this is too much information. Boruto questions, who are you? The toad responds, relax, I'm not a foe. If I were part of the search party, I'd have alerted them already, without engaging you in small talk. Boruto takes all of this in. He then asks, spill it. What's your motive? The toad responds, let's get you out of here first. Touch the toad's back. Boruto is still on guard, but the toad says, there isn't any time to waver. No matter where you end up, it'd still be better than here, right? Or are you scared of toads? That response. Boruto goes for it, saying, damn it. And as Boruto grabs the toad, in a hidden location that looks very similar to where Kara was previously, Kashin Koji uses a summoning jutsu to bring Boruto to him. Boruto gets up looking around, questioning, where are we? As Koji rises from the summoning circle, he says, near the Land of Wind, one of Orochimaru's abandoned bases. Oh, okay. I've camouflaged the already inconspicuous entrance with genjutsu. We won't be found that easily. Boruto turns to Koji, a bit taken off guard. But Koji sits, saying, by the way, that toad is a scientific ninja tool. He's structurally identical to a real toad, except man-made. Okay, I didn't know that about the toads. What makes them different? He says, I manipulate him remotely using my chakra. That was me you were talking to, not the toad himself. Oh, so it's essentially like the regular toads, but it's more or less kind of like a drone more than a living being. It has no autonomy of its own. Ah, wow. Boruto then asks, who are you? You seem to know me. Koji then pulls out a half-broken mask and puts it on his face, saying, does this ring a bell? Boruto is shocked, saying, that mask? No way. Koji says, I am Kashin Koji, an artificial creation brought into being by Amado Sanzu. Boruto is shocked, saying, Kashin Koji? How could I forget? You're the one who killed Master Owl and tried to kill me and Master Konohamaru too. Oh, what a curious thing to ask. Kashin Koji says, can I verify just one thing? Have you been Boruto Uzumaki from the moment you were born up to now? Boruto says, huh? Koji stares him down, saying, yes or no? Answer me straight. Boruto takes a moment and then says, you know of it? Of omnipotent? Kashin Koji says, omnipotent, huh? Inside my head, you are Boruto, Ishiki's vessel who fled Kara. My interpretation is that Amado and I helped you break out, but I'm wrong now. Boruto doesn't respond, but Kashin Koji continues, saying, I don't know a whole lot about the ability you call omnipotent. However, I do have apparitions of the results it brought about. So that day you were chased from your village, it appears everyone's memories related to you and Kawaki did get flipped. How did you come to this conclusion on your own? Boruto says, I don't understand. Clearly omnipotence affected your memory as well. So how are you able to grasp the actual state of things so objectively? Exactly. There's no real other question to ask. Like, how do you know all this? Koji responds, because I knew that the possibility this would end up happening was high, ahead of time. What? Do you have some kind of future sight ability? Yeah, I said what and Boruto says what as well. Koji looks down at his mask and then looks back up at Boruto saying, I owe you an apology. Even if it was to stop Ishiki, I've still followed orders and fought all of you. For that, I am truly sorry. Boruto takes a moment and then responds, I'm a shinobi too. I know the weight of a mission. Plus, the frustration of not being able to vindicate oneself as someone who's experienced that for quite a long while now. Yeah, right. Koji responds saying, as you already know, I was created by Amado in order to defeat Ishiki and consequently stop his planet-destroying divine tree plan. His power far exceeded any of our imaginations, but I was satisfied because I had completed my duty the moment I managed to drag him out of Jigen. I had no fear nor any regrets. I could leave the rest to the Hokage. I just quietly awaited death, right? What? What the hell? Suddenly, something like a film reel flashes across Koji's eyes, showing him the various events that would happen, from Ada to what Code did to the Ten Tails, the battle against Ishiki, Amado coming to the Leaf Village, Boruto being taken over by Momoshiki again. Koji says, it happened suddenly, but as I watched various scenes flash by one after another, I realized that these were glimpses of future reality. And he sees Kawaki ending Ishiki, Kode's power being unlocked, and then Ada using her power on Kawaki, the power of Omnipotent. And then what flashes in front of Koji's eyes next, a glimpse of the divine being. But there's a fifth one that kind of looks like Boruto. Koji tells Boruto, I realized Ishiki's death wasn't enough, that until Ten Tails itself was destroyed, this planet would continue to be in danger. I kind of like the idea that the Ten Tails is always going to be the real danger, because the Ten Tails is always a tool, but now it is the full-on villain. I kind of like that. That in the end, it all comes back to the tailed beast, and the Ten Tails, the most dangerous one of all. Koji says, so there were still things that I needed to do. I couldn't afford to die there. Since then, by comparing what actually took place against the myriad visions I saw that day, I've deepened my understanding and conviction about this ability. But why do you have this ability? How do you have this ability? Is it something Amado placed in you? Or, Boruto then asks, are you saying you knew omnipotence would flip me and Kawaki's positions before it even happened? Koji responds, that's right. Although there are parts I've confirmed for the first time through this conversation, since my perception is that Kawaki has always been the Hokage's son. Boruto asks, so what is this ability anyway? And how did you come to have it all of a sudden? Koji says, I'm sure Amado's told you about Shibai Otsutsuki. Boruto is shocked to hear that name. Koji says, the Otsutsuki who devoured countless planets long ago, acquired all sorts of shinjutsu, and was even called a god. Boruto says, Shiba Otsutsuki. Koji tells him, each of us Kara members who was given enhanced modifications by Amado received transplants of Shiba's cells without fail, in the hopes that we would manifest at least one of his many shinjutsu, though whether we successfully gained any abilities was a matter of luck, as a way of being like, this is why all these other characters have managed to get these abilities, but not the likes of Bora or Delta, or even that one old man member who... But he was part of the Outers, right? No, the old man wasn't in it. Okay, Probably should have watched that filler he was part of. Koji says, though, as a result, Code makes claw mark. Damon can reflect all attack, and Ada has her godlike abilities, but neither Bora, Delta, nor I demonstrated any shinjutsu. And yet, when cornered by Ishiki, upon facing almost certain death, one abruptly emerged. Bora and Delta didn't really get that opportunity, but considering how Delta was made, it kind of makes a bit of sense. Then again, you never know, Delta could suddenly manifest an ability out of nowhere, and Bora, he died a little too quickly to get to that point. The ability to see all possible futures. Prescience. Boruto questions all possible futures? See, this makes a lot of sense why Boruto has been so many steps ahead. It felt more than like just intuition or anything like this. It was almost like they knew what was going on, when it was going on, how it was going on. It's just too much information. Naturally, it's some Otsutsuki God BS. Koji says, this may sound obvious to you, but our future isn't simply one straight path. Many narratives get snuffed out based on which branch of each multi-forked crossroad is taken. It's a battle royale between destinies, so to speak. Take one fate we've already escaped. If Ishiki had killed the Hokage, they'd have resurrected in Kawaki's body and planted a divine tree. The planet would have perished. Boruto is shocked by this. Koji says that ended up not happening, but there was a significant likelihood it would. Another example, the day Kawaki caused the Hokage to disappear, when the two of you quarreled, say Kawaki had managed to kill you, as well as Sarada Uchiha, who tried to help. Oh, snap. So on that day, they both... that was always... possibilities are possibilities, you know? Shoot, there's a possible future where Naruto tripped down the stairs and died, and that was the end of him. Down the stairs strikes again. Koji says, in this case, you and Kawaki would never switch position. Kawaki would go on to lose to a tremendously strong code and be devoured by Ten Tails, and then a divine tree would destroy the planet. Keeps ending with, the divine tree destroys the planet. Divine tree destroys the planet. Wow. Kawaki would have lost the code. Dang. It is difficult to prove what I've seen, especially the events that didn't occur. What I want you to understand is that our future has continuously been walking a dangerous tightrope for several years now. Boruto takes this all in, but then says, that's one downright crazy story. But I can't ignore the fact that you really get what happened thanks to Omnipotent, despite how extraordinary it is. I'd rather not believe that you really saw all futures, yet it sure seems to not be completely baseless bull either, I have to admit. Koji says, that's fine. I'll take it. Thank you. It's just like, hey, I'll believe your bull if you believe mine. Boruto then says, one question. Aren't things just going to happen a certain way no matter what? Seeing all sorts of futures, how is that useful? Yeah, some things that seem like inevitable. You can't really get around it. Once you go in one certain direction, it's just like, yeah, there's no avoiding this fixed point. But dude, being able to see the future, I don't know how you wouldn't see it as useful. Koji says, the biggest advantage is intel. For example, your life on the run. It could prevent you from ending up cornered like earlier. Exactly. Boruto says, yeah, that would definitely be helpful. Koji then says, or I can impart to the present you moves and jutsus future you has mastered. Wouldn't that accelerate learning and optimize training? Oh my god, that makes so much sense. That makes so much sense now. It's like, why was Boruto able to develop this ability that seems so stupidly advanced and overpowered? Because the Boruto of the future knew it. Just to show my geekiness, it's kind of like if you've ever seen Danny Phantom, where he faced off with a future evil version of himself who had this ability called the Ghostly Whale that was really powerful. And then Danny, having seen that ability in action, picks it up and starts using it in its present day form. And his future self's just like, wait, I didn't learn that ability till years later. How are you able to do this? It's a wild stuff. It's kind of like having time travel without having time travel. I feel like some people will get all bent out of shape about this, but look, I've sat through Dragon Ball and all the future Trunks stuff. I've sat through One Piece and some of its... And shoot, if you've watched the Naruto stuff, there was a whole Naruto movie based around alternate future shenanigans. And not to mention in Boruto, wasn't there like a filler story arc with Deepa, who was a filler only member of Kara, where Boruto met up with the younger version of Naruto and Jiraiya, future time wibbly wobbly stuff, it ain't that far out for Naruto and Boruto, especially if you've seen the anime. But hey, if you had too much, the safe word is menma. I'm just saying. Boruto is shocked, saying, "Whoa, that's super awesome. That's possible?" His inner Naruto is showing right there. Boruto right now has a very Sasuke-like vibe with the hair over one eye and all that, but in that moment it's just like, oh man, it just felt like Naruto. Koji says, "There's no timeline paradox since I'm only relaying what I saw. It's totally standard procedure for Prescience. I'll also tell you how to rescue Sasuke Uchiha from his tree." Boruto perks up at this. Koji then says, "But first, I need you to understand the very worst future that's possible right now." Uh-oh. Oh god, are we gonna cut away before he tells us? Nope, we're still in the past. Boruto questions, "The very worst future?" Koji tells him, "Ten Tails will break free of Code's control and evolve in a new way. They will likely show up before us as multiple divine tree people who possess individual minds." Oh, okay. This is why he knew. This is why Boruto didn't seem too shocked by the divine tree people, divine being. Koji tells him it would be ideal to dispose of Ten Tails' root and branch before that, but the likelihood we'd succeed is low. In nearly all futures I see, there are divine tree people. Dang. So, like we were saying before, it was an inevitability. It would have been nice to find a way to avoid it, but it was something that we were kind of hurtling to it too fast in order to change direction kind of situation. I get you. Koji tells him, "And most dangerous among them is their leader, Jura." Boruto questions, "Jura?" Koji tells him, "Boruto, he is going to kill you." Okay. So maybe I wasn't too far off the mark about Boruto kind of looking dead in that instant. Boruto is stunned silent. Koji continues on saying, "It's not an absolute thing, but many futures show it happening. And what follows is pretty similar. Kawaki gets devoured, and our planet dies." Dang. Well, it kind of sucks because the smart thing to do would be like, oh well then I should probably kill Kawaki, because without Kawaki, they have less of a chance of, maybe getting that tree and all that. But Boruto ain't like that. Koji says, "Obviously, this must not come to pass. We can't let this worst case become reality. As I mentioned earlier, there are infinite possible futures. And through you learning about this now, our future has already started to change, one tick at a time." Boruto takes a moment, but then says, "Just now, Mr. Koji, whether it's stopping a divine tree plan or whatnot, I'll never agree to any option that involves killing Kawaki. Understand?" See, I called that before I even got to that point. I'm just like, he'd never kill Kawaki. But Boruto smiles, saying, "'Cause knocking sense into my idiot bro and restoring the Uzumaki household is my goal." Boruto's come from a long way from, disrespecting his dad. With good reason. His dad was, not really being there for his family and all that in the ways that he should have. Yes, Naruto had an important job, but at the same time, kids who never see their parents, a day off when you can goes a long way is all I'm saying. Koji doesn't really respond to this, which, Boruto then pulls out Sasuke's headband and ties it around his head, saying, "Whatever the case, Ten Tails is in my way. That much is clear, so don't bother wasting your breath. I'll do it. Finish off Code and Ten Tails both." But Koji has this very interesting look in his eyes. I don't know. In this moment, despite everything, I've never felt less trusting of Kashin Koji than this moment. Because I feel like he's down with saving the world. He lives there after all. Clone or not, our official being or not, he still lives here, and that was his mission from the start. But I'm worried about what lengths he'll go to complete his mission. And while Kawaki dying, he's kind of gone down the route of, would Kawaki being killed be a bad thing? Oh, no, I shouldn't think like that. This manga's trying to teach me to be better than that. Though it's the same point I got to with Sasuke, where I'm just like, Sasuke needs to die. We reached a point where I'm just like, Sasuke kinda needs to die. His living has become everyone's problem, and that's a problem. But Boruto, who was out of it before, finally wakes up, starting to stir on the ground as Sumire says, Boruto, no, don't move. And Kawaki looks over his shoulder with a glare. Meanwhile, Konohamaru tends to Sarada, who's winces in pain as he checks her arm where Jura shot her. Konohamaru says, the bone is fine, but damn it, I think the nerves are damaged. Uh-oh. Nerve damage is never a good thing. Don't tell me she's not going to be able to use her hand. Sarada says, never mind me. Please, triage Boruto. Suddenly, Himawari stirs. Oh god, thank god we finally learned this guy's name. Then again, did we already know this dude's name? Oh, he's been around before. Okay, oh my god, this guy has been around for the longest time. No wonder he keeps popping up. He looks so different in the anime though. Well, not so different. I'm only just now realizing how frequently around he is. I thought he was around a lot before, but hey, I really didn't realize how prominent he was. Regardless, Himawari wakes up and says, Mr. Nishi? Nishi says, Himawari, you've come too. Does anything hurt at all? Himawari then spots Sarada and says she's injured and goes rushing off as Nishi says, oh, hey. Himawari trots over saying, let me see. She grabs Sarada's arm and the energy of the nine-tailed fox emanates from her hand, engulfing Sarada's wrist. Sarada then looks at it going, what? And then says, no way. I'm healed. I love these moments with Kawaki, who, while his expression doesn't change, you have this reaction of, what? Coming out of him too. While Konohamaru says, what the heck's going on? Himawari? Himawari says, since the injury wasn't that extensive, I think this'll do it. Sumire then calls out, Himawari, help Boruto too. Locking in on Boruto, Himawari says, Boruto, he came back. But Kawaki calls out, hold up Himawari, don't go near him. Himawari questions, big bro? While Sarada says, Kawaki, you. But Kawaki says, don't misunderstand. I'll let her heal him. We just gotta do something first, right, Master Konohamaru? As Konohamaru rustles in his bag, Sarada questions, huh? Konohamaru says, yes, indeed. Can't miss this perfect opportunity. As he comes over to Boruto, Sumire questions, Master, what are you? But Konohamaru says, move aside, Sumire. Don't worry, I'll be gentle. As he puts restraints on Boruto's arms, Konohamaru says, I'm those custom sealing jutsu cuffs. Now he can't use any type of jutsu. I get it, but even still, Sarada comes over saying, Master Konohamaru. But as Konohamaru confiscates Boruto's sword, he says, don't complain, Sarada. It's a measure dictated by the law. We need the intel he possesses. Alert Lord 8th. But Kawaki takes a moment to rustle around in Boruto's cloak and pulls out one of the toads. Kawaki thinks to himself, isn't this Kashin Koji's? He then immediately destroys it. And as Konohamaru turns, he questions, huh? What is it? But Kawaki says, nah, nothing. I wish more people would realize how shady he is, but they're treating him like they would treat Boruto. Meanwhile, back at the Orochimaru base, Koji felt that. He took it personally, saying, gah, what a bothersome turn of events. Dang. Damn it. Back at the Divine Tree base, Jura puts Hidari's seed bulb on one of the black blocks underneath the Divine Tree roots. The roots then come down and meld with the seed bulb, crafting a brand new body for Hidari. Jura, leaning against the roots, says, well, Hidari, any problems? Hidari turns, saying, who knows? I can't tell. Jura says, I see. Seems you know that you're Hidari. Good. Your identity appears to be strong and intact. Matsuri then calls out Jura. Isn't it time? I'm going to say the weird jester look is both off-putting and weirdly sexy when it comes to Matsuri. She's kind of like Harley Quinn, which, I mean, there's a weird appeal to jester girls. I don't know what to tell you. But Matsuri says, for that, I'm chomping at the bit to see what's going to emerge as we see another seed bulb. But who's it for? I thought, okay, maybe the person that we saw before the fifth member, I had thought it came from a feature where maybe Boruto was absorbed. But who else was absorbed? Was it that one random shinobi that Naruto tried to save? How she knew about the absorbing from the trees? And we still don't know where Jura comes from. We know they have Sasuke, Bug, and Moegi. Jura says fine, harvest it. With a flick of her finger, Masuri commands the root of divine tree to cut off the seed bulb. Masuri then uses her telepathy to float the bulb back over to the block where Hidari previously was. And then Jura takes a moment to say, now, what to name you? I continue to be very intrigued by the divine tree being, because right now they're the right amount of mysterious, fairly powerful, but we see that they can be defeated by powerful enough techniques, so they're not completely unbeatable. You just gotta be on guard with them, like they were being with Hidari. With enough people working together, you can overwhelm them, much like we saw with most of the Otsutskis, let's be honest. But this is all tailed beast abilities, and more specifically the most powerful of the tailed beasts, which again, like I said before, I love the fact that it is the 10 tails itself that has become the biggest problem. And funny enough, it is characters with Otsutsuki abilities who have to contend with it. I just hate the fact that so many other shinobi characters have kind of been left in the dust time and time again. It was good to see that with Konohamaru and Sarada backing him up, that was the only way for Boruto to really land that solid hit on Hidari. And there is a weirdly great style to the divine tree being that, I don't know, it's just weirdly appealing. They just really cooked on these designs. And I'm not just saying that because I'm weirdly down bad for the Mitsuri one. I mean, I was never really into Moegi, but I gotta say, the bodysuit, it's kind of doing something for me, and I don't know how to feel about it all. It's not helped by the fact that the artist really just knows he has his weird fetishes. That much has been very clear to me, and he seems determined to bring me into that world, and again, I don't know how to feel about it. I mean, when he's killing it, but when he's out of line, he's out of line, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean. But regardless, Boruto has been taken into custody, which is a problem. Kawaki is allowing him to live because he needs information. It just really sucks. Cause it's like, look, Kawaki, you need Boruto. You really need Boruto. You were easily outclassed by these people. Please don't be more of a dumbass than you are. But man, now having a fifth member to this whole team, like, we need all hands on deck for this kind of situation. But the mistrust that has been placed into Boruto is like, how do we get around that? How does Shikamaru circumnavigate anyone undermining what he knows he needs to do in order to get the job done? Because the widespread belief that Boruto killed Naruto just causes so many problems. But we know that Kawaki isn't going to give up the ghost when it comes to this. So it's a matter of how many other characters can be convinced about what has happened, the tampering in memories, all that good stuff. Because it seems to take some kind of self-realization, knowing that it contradicts what you know to be true. Shikamaru was able to suss it out because of who he is. Amida was able to suss it out because of who he is. Ino, don't make Ino a problem. She's listening into all of these conversations and just going with it, and she trusts Shikamaru. But I don't want to find out later that she's telling other people and undermining Shikamaru's trust because she thinks that somehow Boruto got into Shikamaru's head. Because it's like, no, Ino should be able to give Shikamaru more credit than that. So, but that's a possibility. That is a possibility. And it's a possibility that I would hate. because that does Ino's personality real dirty. It does add a lot to the tension though, because if everyone's just on guard for these divine beings, there's not a lot of tension. So putting Boruto in the situation that he's in really helps to rev up the tension, because you don't know how many of the very people he's trying to protect and help and yada 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 are gonna do him dirty and sell him out and ultimately cause hell on Earth. Or, well, let's be honest, the end of the Earth. Boruto is definitely going to escape out of his situation. He has too many people who are his allies for him not to. But you also have too many former allies who will try to undermine that, like I said before. And then a lot of people start working against each other as it goes on and yada yada yada. It already sucks enough to see things going down for Konohamaru the way they are, especially right after he and Boruto worked well together. We'll just have to wait and see. Will it be Koji to the rescue, or one of the various allies Boruto has in the Elite Village? Will Kawaki try something? It's hard to say if he won't. And will he recognize that the divine tree beings are the greater threat at the moment? And there's also Code. Who knows how Code's gonna factor into all of this? Dumb as Code has been for a while. Just Code has caused so many problems. And it's a situation of, man, he kind of wish he'd just died, because now knowing he's out there, it's like, oh no, what problem is Code gonna cause later down the line? Because yeah, enough people can deal with him, but it's not enough people who can deal with him. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the ride. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I hope to see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.